Okay, welcome back. So we're going to now hit the conversion dimensional analysis problems here using our conversion factors. The table for number 4 gives you all the information that you would need that you wouldn't be expected to have memorized already. So if there's a factor, a conversion factor that you need that you don't see on the table, make sure you spend some time memorizing it because the expectation is you already know it, okay? So let's go ahead and get started with the first one here. This is convert 3.85 pounds of bread to loaves of bread. And the reason that I chose such a ridiculous thing is because I just wanted to make sure there was one on here where you had to use conversion factors. You have to find the correct information that's helpful to you. Maybe you know how many yards are in a mile. Maybe you can do in your head certain conversions. This one, there's no way to do this because do you have memorized how many ounces a piece of bread is? How many pieces of bread are in a loaf? Right? Maybe you do. That's insane, but it's likely that you don't know this conversion off the top of your head. So where do we get that information? It's going to be given to us. We have to use the correct conversion factors in order to solve this problem. So I'm going to write out the tools we're going to need. I have 22 pieces of bread equals 1 loaf. And I know that 1 piece equals 2 ounces. I have 3.85 pounds. I also know that there are 16 ounces. That equals 1 pound. So the goal here with any conversion when you're using dimensional analysis, we are multiplying by 1. We're going to use these conversion factors in any way we need so that we can divide pounds by pounds. We need to make that equal 1. And so let's get started. 3.85 pounds. I know that, so my pathway here, I have pounds, then I have ounces, and that gets me to pieces of bread. So now I can go from pieces of bread to loaves. So we kind of have to formulate a plan of attack. I know if I have pounds here, I need to get rid of it. To get rid of this, I need to divide by pounds because pounds divided by pounds equals 1. And I will be left with, in this case, ounces. Now the number just follows the unit. So 1 pound equals 16 ounces. Now I have ounces. I don't want ounces, I want loaves. So let's continue. I need to divide by ounces, and that gives me a piece of bread. So for every 1 piece of bread, I have 2 ounces. And now I need to divide my pieces of bread out. For every 22 pieces, I have 1 loaf. So now, this is what calculators are for. We'll just plug it in. Anything on the top, we will multiply. Anything on the bottom, we will divide. So when I'm putting this into my calculator, I'm going to say 3.85 times 16 divided by 2 divided by 22. Might look weird in your calculator to say divide and then divide, but if it's on the bottom, we just divide it. Problem solved. No more thinking about it. I'm going to get 1.4 loaves of bread. So 1.4 loaves. And let's just make sure that we have, in fact, canceled our units correctly. Pounds divided by pounds, ounces divided by ounces, pieces divided by pieces. We are left with a loaf of bread. All right, so that is letter A. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, so for the second one, we are converting 15.9 acres into yards. So here, the tools that would be helpful, let's see, what do we have on our table? I have 1 square mile equals 640 acres. So 1 mile squared equals 640 acres. Let's see. Oh, and I have yards to miles. So I know that 1760 yards equals 1 mile. So here I can already see I can go from acres to miles, miles into yards, and I'm going to have to square something at some point here, okay? So just before we even start, we can kind of formulate a plan of attack. So let's get started. Start with the information that we're given, 15.9 acres. I need to divide by acres, so for every 640 acres, I get 1 square mile. And now I need to divide by, well, square miles, right? But I don't have square miles here. I'm going to go ahead and put this in anyway. For every 1 mile, I get 1,760 yards. And I know I need to square this, so what am I going to do? Just square it up here. If I square the parentheses, then everything inside the parentheses gets squared. So I have to distribute this square to the 1760, to the yards, to the miles, and to the 1. So this is pretty much the same as multiplying by, let's see if I can get this number here real quick. 1760 squared is, oh, that's a big number. 3 million something. Need some more room here. So 3097600 yards squared for every 1 square mile. So if I say 15.9 divided by 640 times 1760 squared, or if I say 15.9 divided by 640 times this big number, I get the same answer. So let's just go ahead and do that and make sure that that is in fact true. So I have 15.9 divided by 640 times 1760. I'm going to square that. That gives me 76956. 76956, and that would be yards squared. Or I can take 15.9 divided by 640 times, and that giant number, 3097600. And what do you know? Same thing, 76956 yards squared, as expected. We would expect that to be the case. All right, we'll get rid of this one and start on letter C. Okay, so for the third one here, we are going to convert 8.5 cubic feet to gallons. So once again, let's see what kind of tools we need. I don't know a lot of these off the top of my head. We have a gallon to a liter. Okay, so we know that 1 gallon equals 3.79 liters. That's helpful. Let's see here. Looks like I got 1 centimeter cubed equals 1 milliliter. Okay, so here I can already start to see a little bit of a plan here. Milliliter to liter, centimeter cubed, kind of looks like feet cubed. It's a distance cubed. So if I can get from feet to centimeters, then I can get to milliliter to liter to gallon. Okay, so now I know that I will need, 1,000 milliliters equals 1 liter. That is not going to be written on this thing, because you should know that. You should have the one memorized. We should know that 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch, and of course 12 inches equals 1 foot. Okay, So now I can see my pathway. And again, we got there because I know I'm going between centimeters cubed and a milliliter. Centimeters cubed to feet cubed here. That's kind of our pathway, milliliters, liters, and gallons. All right, so let's go ahead and write this out. This one's going to be a little bit longer than the other ones. So 8.5 feet cubed. I know I need to divide by feet cubed, but I don't have anything for feet cubed once again. So I'm going to need to cube the entire thing. For every 12 inches, I have 1 foot. And this is cube. So I need to cube everything inside here. Let's see here. Inches cubed. For every 1 inch, I have 2.54 centimeters. Once again, that is cubed. We're going to continue this down here. I need to divide by centimeters now. And actually, it's, again, centimeters cubed. And this time, I'm going to get it inside the parentheses because I don't need to cube centimeters when it's already cubed. I'm good. So 1 milliliter for every 1 centimeter cubed. For every 1,000 milliliters, I have 1 liter. And for every 3.79 liters, I have 1 gallon. Let's see how many gallons 8.5 cubic feet are. So now, once again, in my calculator, if it's on the top, I'm multiplying. If it's on the bottom, I'm dividing. So anything on the bottom of these fractions, I'm dividing. And of course, I'm going to ignore the ones because anything divided by 1 is itself. All right, so if I'm putting this in my calculator, I'm going to put 8.5 times 12. That's cubed, so I'm going to cube it. Times 2.54, once again, that is cubed. 1 over 1, don't worry about that. Divided by 1,000. And divided by 3.79. All right, we get 63.5, and that would be gallons. 63.5 gallons. And let's just make sure that our units cancel correctly. So feet cubed, this is feet cubed. Inches cubed, inches cubed. All right, that tracks. Centimeters cubed, centimeters cubed. Very good. Milliliters, milliliters, liters, liters. What am I left with? I'm left with gallons. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's set up number 4, or letter D, or whatever it is. Okay, so for letter E here, I guess I should label that. Let's label that E. We're going from 105 meters per second to miles per hour. So in the ones that we've done today, this is the first one that has like a dual unit here. So whenever I see, something per something, I break that apart. So I'm going to write this as 105 meters per 1 second. This is 105 meters for every 1 second. And I want to write it like this so I can see exactly what's on the top and exactly what's on the bottom. Now I'm going from meters to miles per hour. So meters to miles, seconds to hours. Those are just 2 separate things. And I'll address them separately. It's not a big deal. I can do them whatever order I want to. It doesn't really matter. I'll do meters first. So I know I need to divide by meters. And I'm going to go to miles. For every 1 mile, we have 1609 meters. All right? So that takes care of our meters. Now let's take care of our seconds. Here, I have seconds already on the bottom. I'm already dividing by seconds. If I want to make this equal 1, I need to have seconds over seconds. Well, this one is right here already. So the seconds I use later in my equation has to be on top. Seconds per, and we'll go straight to hour because we know how many that is. There's 3,600 seconds for every 1 hour. But I just want to make a note here. I'm already dividing by seconds. Therefore, I have to multiply by seconds to actually cancel these two out, to make it equal to 1. All right, I think that's going to do it for us here. We got meters to miles and seconds to hours. All right, so let's throw it in the calculator. See what we get. We have 105, 105, I can count, divided by 1609 times 3600. All right, 200, we'll round that to 235 miles per hour, 235, so maybe we're breaking some kind of land speed record here. And again, let's just make sure our units cancel like we think they do. Meters divided by meters, we're left with miles. Seconds divided by seconds, and we're left with hours. There we go, miles per hour. Perfect. All right, we have, that was letter D. My bad on that. Let's do letter E next, and one day I will learn how to count. Okay, so the last one we did, I called it letter E. It was in fact letter D because I have trouble reading apparently. This is letter E. This is the last one we'll do here. So here we're turning 2.5 liters per minute into cubic yards per hour. So once again, we're going to need to get a couple helpful tools for us here. So let's go back to that table because I don't know these off the top of my head. I have no reason to. Let's see here, liters. Well, we can get to 1 centimeter cubed equals 1 milliliter. That'll be helpful for us. So if we can get liters to milliliters, centimeters cubed, then I know 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch, and I know that there are 36 inches in 1 yard. Okay, so there's our pathway. That makes sense now. Okay, so let's get started. 2.5, and again, every time I see something over something, liters per minute, this per right here, I'm going to break that up. So liters per 1 minute, and here, liters need to divide by liters. For every 1 liter, I have 1,000 milliliters. I know that for every 1 milliliter, I have 1 centimeter cubed. Now I need to divide by centimeters cubed. I don't have that, once again, so I'm going to say 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch. I'm going to cube that. Now I can go from inches. For every 36 inches, I have 1 yard. But I need to, again, cube that. All right, and remember the cube is distributed to every element in our parentheses. So we just need to be real careful, very diligent about that. All right, so to solve this, 2.5, this is on the top, times 1,000. Don't need to worry about the ones. I'm going to divide, if this is on the bottom, divide by 2.54 cubed, and divide again by 36 cubed. And we get 0.00327. So let's call that, well here, let's do this, 0.00327 cubic yards per hour. Or a much better way to write this, we could say 3.27 times 10 to the negative 1, 2, 3 cubic yards per hour. I did not do these beforehand. I really thought that number would be larger than that, so that is a little bit surprising to me. Okay, perfect. So that is all of our dimensional analysis using conversion factors. The next section we'll do is going to be just with metric units. So let's go ahead and get that started.